Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. And we've just watched the presidential debate interview after Raila Odinga skipped the event. By the way, I want to do a rejoinder on my previous analysis. I took time and went to Jericho, and of course there was nothing that was going on. And so the premise of my previous analysis was on what had happened there, and it emerged that Raila was not going to attend. The official communication of Raila not attending the debate was sent at 7:30. Official written notification, 7:30, 30 minutes to the official starting time of the debate. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something that the Kenyan journalists must extract from the today's interview. I don't want to call it a debate, because in a debate there are two sides, and that was not a debate. That was just an interrogative session. That interrogative session exposed one thing, that if you want to find Ruto flat-footed, or rather the best way to engage Deputy President, if you are a journalist, is to make sure that you control his temper, avoid words that can provoke his temper, and just with that, you will be enough to push Ruto. You will be able to push Ruto to the corner and push him out of character. I think the choice of moderators of that event, of that session, was very wisdomic, because they were in a position to control Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. I have realized, with little reference, if you give Ruto little room, a very small room, to refer to Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta, you remain with a shell of the orator. And the bottom-up economic model can best be explained if it is on a comparative phrase, where we are talking about bottom-up because the other side is proposing this. But bottom-up economic model is not a standalone phrase that can be sold to Kenyans if it is not on a comparative phrase. What I'm simply saying is this: throughout that debate, I have had little of bottom-up economic forum or economic model. Maybe I want to say this, that the bottom economic model, sometimes it's only easy to refer to it when you hear the word economy. But I think the organizers of the debate decided to feature the word economy by asking it as the cost of living. So if there is a place that word was to be sneaked, it was on the first question at that debate. Now, I want us to look at it, that debate critically. But before that, I captured this 2-minute video on some responses, or rather snippets from that interview. I've picked those ones strategically because they will help us to premise this analysis. So kindly let's listen in. Then after that, we are going to delve more into this.
And this is with regards to leadership and integrity. Your opponent, who did not turn up tonight, said he could not come to this debate because he did not want to face a man who has no regard for ethics, public morals, or shame. How do you respond to that?
Do you sincerely believe that that is the reason why he's not here? I don't think so. I don't think so. My competitor is not here because he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have an agenda. He cannot articulate anything to the people of Kenya. He doesn't want to answer difficult questions. You know, he's been part of this administration, the handshake administration, for the last 5 years. KEMSA happened, and many other things happened. The dams in the forest. So I think, we have to be honest with ourselves. And that's why I am looking forward to the day somebody will step forward and actually tell the country how will the government of Kenya lose 20 billion shillings that was supposed to build Aror and Kimwarer, and yet there is nothing on the ground. What was this? What was this sinister motive?
Do you believe money was lost?
I don't believe any money was lost. And even if money was lost, people should be taken to court.
But you said around 2019 that it was 7 billion shillings that was lost.
No,
and not
I
the
didn't say
21
that.
was being alleged by the DPP.
I didn't say that. Check my statement. I am very clear about what I said. I said 7 billion shillings was paid. Mention after mention, after story after story. I mean, surely, how can we lose 7 billion? Another 12 billion that is going to be incurred by this government. And it's an act of political convenience.
You just said we didn't lose 7 billion shillings.
No, I'm just saying eventually we will. I mean, if it is not sorted out. And that's why I'm saying when I come into office, I will make sure that the money is not lost. And I will make sure that the impediment imposed on this project, we will provide the land. The contractor will build the dam. And we will move ahead.
I'm tempted to ask this question to people who followed that debate. I understand quite a number of people could not watch live because there was also power blackout in some parts of the country. I saw Kipchumba Murkomen in Twitter saying that the power blackout affected 70% of the Kenyan population. I don't know that 70% could not watch the interview. Allow us call it interview, because of power blackout. But do you think Raila lost some value by skipping to attend that debate? Do you think Raila was right to skip it? Even though this is not something that is new, because in 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was the Jubilee candidate, also skipped the presidential debate. And this is something that happens. To the framers of the presidential debate, something I observed is both the deputy president's debate and the presidential debate were referenced on Jubilee 1 and Jubilee 2. And so candidates were not given standalone templates to tell Kenyans what they want to do in reference to the progressive government, or rather to the next government, in the next government, but more of it was referencing to Jubilee 1 and Jubilee 2. The referencing was done on two ways. One, to interrogate the trust and integrity of the candidates, and that is why William Ruto was scoring very low. Even if not this session, you'll realize that when William Ruto have a media engagement, he scores very low on the trust issues because there is a lot of references to Jubilee 1 and Jubilee 2. The other aspect why this referencing is done is to see the feasibility when someone is promising something, whether that is possible, or the creativity in whatever you're proposing. Is it something that already been done, or it's something that is being done and has failed? Are you proposing something new? That's why there is a lot of reference to Jubilee 1 and Jubilee 2. But then in my understanding, I remember in the deputy president's debate, it really put Rigathi Gachagua in a very difficult position. Now today, it was difficult for William Ruto to establish coherence between the plan and existing legislative policy and policy interventions that are associated with debt management, agriculture, and fuel subsidies. So if you follow that interrogative session, you will realize that Yvonne Okwara had a lot of interjections on William Ruto's response to the issues of debt management, the issues of agricultural fuel subsidy, and agriculture and the fuel subsidies. Even though William Ruto would actually say that the subsidy program was stopped 3 years ago, And that was his brainchild when he was a Minister of Agriculture back then in the Grand Coalition. I don't know whether that can be verified, but that is something that he said. So I saw it is very difficult for William Ruto to actually tell Kenyans the plan in a more satisfactory manner, because there is no coherence between the plan and what is being done in Jubilee 1 and Jubilee 2. That was deliberate, because in this election, William Ruto had to struggle to bring in anything and everything new that has not been done by the progressive, by the last government. So this is something that you could see. Now, there was a reprieve on dwelling on Uhuru fallout, but he was a bit exposed as a helpless person, because as much as the moderators and the framers of that interrogative session, they did not dwell much on the fallout with the president. And this is a question that I think this is a question that William Ruto have answered in many interviews. Rigathi Gachagua tried to answer it, and even William Ruto's presidential team during the debrief session had also insisted that they should not, the framers of the debate should not focus on that Ruto, on that fallout. However, at the end of the day, all the responses, because in this election, Ruto is struggling by all means possible to push himself to the periphery so that he do not go to this election with the baggage of Jubilee Party. And perhaps that is why Raila Odinga could also be advised to make sure that he keeps off, because there's a lot of Jubilee baggage that is going to be associated with it. And if you listen to William Ruto, the most interesting thing, and that was attracting a lot of traction from the audience, was on why Raila did not attend the debate. That most importantly. But when it was to execute and speak about the plan, which I know I don't want to again just overemphasize on this, because there was no exclusive focus on the plan. However, it became very difficult in many instances to tell people the plan. Now, what do you think? What exactly happened? I want us to look at that, because I followed all through that interview, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And I think the framers of the debate, even though that is bit of a time, there is already a timeline with it, with the programming code, the programming plans at different media houses. But if Ruto was alone, I think they would have just reduced it to 1 hour. Perhaps again, it's an advantage because he has the timeline, he has the airtime all through. I want to humbly request you, ladies and gentlemen, to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. When you like our video, you share our videos, you are promoting this channel, and let's continue supporting Sarah Atieno Onyango. By the way, I have spoken with some of the subscribers here, and have agreed that we are going to run a 50 shillings challenge for Sarah's medical bill, and that 50 shillings challenge is going to be sent in my number. So I think it will be very good so that we collect it as Team Bold. So 50 bob in my M-Pesa, 07 10 62 78 89. I'll collect it. Then I think we're giving ourselves like 2 weeks. Within the 2 weeks, I shall announce for us what is in it for us, what we've collected. Then we're going to present it as Team Bold. Meanwhile, even Sarah's number is here. You can still reach out to Sarah. Anything above 50, I just advise umtumie 07 16 357 360. But my 50 bob challenge is on my number, and on my 50 bob challenge we are starting with 10,000, which is my donation. So kutoka from the proceeds of what we do here, I'm also going to put in my 10,000. So we are starting from 10,000, and I believe that with the grace of the Lord we'll get to 200,000 and 500,000. So that's the script, and of course we shall continue emphasizing on this. Ruto looked timid, cornered, reserved, and to some extent, I think he was overprepared. He was overprepared. Have you ever gone to You've gone to an interview, applying for a job, then you prepare, you acquit yourself with a lot of materials and a lot of stuff, but then when you get there, you find out that it is not what you expect. I think there was already a predetermined mindset that was there on what William Ruto was going to say, and what they have always tried is, the reference is the plan, which honestly I think they have really insisted on the good plan. Between now, the next how many days, the next 13 days, we'll try to go to the politics of the issues, try to question both manifestos so that Kenyans can make a very good decision. He looked reserved because the trap was laid for him, the trap that he had laid to attack Uhuru and Raila was not there. Now, I want to say this, that the best way for William Ruto to talk to Kenyans and gain traction and express his oratory skills and express everything about Kenya Kwanza is on comparison to Raila Odinga or attacking President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But the best way that they could attack the president is by Raila Odinga being on the other side of the booth. Now, with the absence of Raila, there was no direct route to attacking President Uhuru, because at the end of the day, that debate that turned an interview could, if Ruto would make a mistake of attacking the president without Raila being on the picture, it was going to be very difficult. And of course, Azimio propaganda team would really run with a Ruto-Uhuru contest. If you've been keen, you will realize that Ruto has tried his best, and that is well advised, to avoid Ruto-Uhuru contest. That is not a contest that is going to be very conducive on his side. But again, I have listened to the debates for the running mates and now the presidential ones. Both of them, media has literally black screened the Ruto's manifesto. I remember Rigathi Gachagua crying out 1 hour into the debate saying, but I want us to discuss the real issues. Then hapo mbele aliulizwa tu kuhusu issue na the cost of living. Now even today, Deputy President, after the debate, he complained and said, but I don't think we've really tackled the real issues. And for this, it is either way. Either the media is giving a blind eye on that, or two, the framers of the debate wanted Deputy President to respond to issues that he has never spoken about. And that will be the value addition in the debate, because if we are going to debate to speak about what you're going to do for health, the 50 billion Hustlers Fund and the 6,000 stipend, honestly, we are not giving value of that airtime to the Kenyan voter. It will be effective for the Kenyan voter to get to understand more of the things that are not in the campaign trail. If you look at the way it was detailed on the issues of debt management, Aurora and Kumwarer Dam, and there is bit of what has never been said in the rally. So that someone who spent time to watch the interview, rather the debate, can have an idea of something that is never heard of. But I have always maintained that there could be a possibility that no one is referencing to Ruto's manifesto because it looks like a slogan. You know, it's difficult to differentiate between a slogan and a project. Let's say, for example, the plan is bottom-up economic model. The slogan is kazi ni kazi. The archetype, the person that is being addressed is the hustler. So all those things, I see a difference. You want to talk about the plan, but most likely you'll be talking about the hustler. And that will be then political sloganeering. So I think the ambitious plan has also not been very convincing enough for someone to say, oh, I want to talk about that plan. Then, if there is something that Ruto totally got wrong, is understanding of the government operations generally. I don't know whether this was deliberate. so that he can be seen, he can play a victim card and a helpless deputy president. Because on the question of how Raila, and I've always wondered, how Raila blocked the Big Four agenda, especially the agriculture part. That point is being addressed selectively, because you will only be told of how Raila blocked the agriculture, but no one is going to talk about the success in the health. And KEMSA scandal was not an impediment to the achievement of the Big Four agenda on health, or rather on agriculture. So, and the way government works, different ministries worked, it has always been answered selectively. I know one that failed, I can say categorically, is the one on the housing. But manufacturing and health has done well. No one will mention about the two, but will always pick one. What I think, if Deputy President was very fair to President Uhuru Kenyatta, he would have acknowledged that perhaps it was not practical enough to achieve the four, but at least there was intent, and it was not just practical enough. The political distractions I've always not appreciated, because I think the person who ran the constitutional change process was Raila Odinga lonely. There was no rally that Raila and Uhuru held together campaigning for BBI. And so this is not something that I really appreciate. It shows, to me, it shows the way Deputy President is just taking political angle in any question. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's your take on that debate, but according to me, Ruto was found flat-footed and was pushed out of character, for lack of a better word.